What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Just Kidding channel. Before we start, I'd just like to put out there that if you guys support this channel, I hope you support Black Lives Matter, because I am a black male and my life matters, as well as all black people. We just want equality, man. That's it. You know, not too complicated. But so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna install S14 lower control arms on my S13. So I don't know if you guys know, but I've been having an over center issue, and it's because there's a notch in the extended lower control arms that the tie rod end sits in. So when it sits in it, it's hard for me to get it out of it. And that basically affects my driving, because if I can't change direction like how I need to change direction, it throws off my line. So what we're going to do is going to install these lower control arms, and hopefully it fixes the issue. Alright, so I might do this off camera. So in order for me to remove the lower control arm, I have to undo the tension rod. There's two bolts underneath. I have to undo the sway bar end link, and I have to undo this bolt that'll drop it from the knuckle. There's also another bolt that bolts it up to the front subframe. It's really straightforward. I'm probably gonna do that off camera since it's dark in this area, and we'll go from there. All right, so before I continue, just want to let you guys know that the tie rods, they're 17. The sway bar end link that's connected to the lower control arm is also a 17, and this bolt for the ball joint is actually a 22, right? The bolt that should be for the lower control arm attached to the subframe should be a 17 too. Alright, so that way you know, majority is a 17, this is a 22, so you can do it on your own. Alright, so you guys get a better idea of what I was talking about with the lower control arm. Whoever extended these lower control arms literally put this notch right here so the tie rod could fit in it, but this is what's locking my steering. So out with the old, and I'm gonna put the new one in. All right, just what I suspected or expected. Nothing's lining up, and it's kind of pissing me off. Like the tension rod is not lining up with the lower control arm. The tie rod is actually way too long. That I expected. But yeah, it's not really lining up. But what I did do is I adjusted the front, well, the coilover, so the car would be a little lower, because it was sitting like monster truck status in the front. I didn't lower it that much, but when I do the other side, I'm gonna make sure it's even. All right, so bad news. So when it comes to this square wheel, it looks pretty good when it's flush, but I definitely can't leave these lower control arms on the car and then go get an alignment. I have to have them installed, because the tie rods are way too long and there's way too much toe in. So I don't know if you can see, but that is way too much toe in for me to even drive it to a shop to get in alignment. As you can see on the other side, the wheel is straight, and I don't like this poke, so it's looking like a no-go for these lower control arms, to be honest with you, because if it's poking that much, I put the new wheel on and it pokes a little less, then I'm just gonna have to send it like that, because as you can see, that's way too much toe in for me to drive around. That's super dangerous. So thinking about just putting the old lower control arms back in, and when I get the new wheels, just call it a day. I do need to add a bump stop to that one if I do choose to use them, because that's a huge issue for me. So yeah, it's a little disappointing, but you live and you learn, and yeah, that's it. So all right, also before I put the old one back on, the wheels that I got for this car has a higher offset in the rear, and like it's like a plus 34. So when it's sitting, it should sit flush, right? But the front, I guess I'm gonna keep it like these square wheels are plus 15, and they poke. So if I put the new wheels on with the plus 25, it should fit flush with the old lower control arms. But I need to add the bump stop so I don't over center or whatever. Just in case you guys were wondering what was the difference in length between the extended ones that I had on the car already and the S14 ones, you can see there's a huge difference. This is almost 2 inches of a difference. But I guess we'll be sticking with these old Johns. I'm gonna ask one of my friends to try to see if he can like box this and give me a little bump stop. I might lose a bit of angle, but I'd rather lose the angle than have that over centering issue. All right, it is a new day, and we're gonna continue working on my 240. So as you guys seen before, the S14 lower control arms were too short. So what I did is I went to Kevin's house and I asked him if he can weld bump stops onto the extended lower control arms so I don't have that over centering issue. And that man hooked it up. So yes, this is raw right now. Do not worry about that. I'll be painting it in a bit. But he just welded the bump stops, while this plate that I had like metal laying around, he just welded that there, so I don't have that issue. I'm gonna coat it in some black paint and throw them on the car, do an eyeball alignment, and then from there we're gonna see how the car drives. I do need to get tires put on those wheels so I could throw them on, get the wheel alignment, because as of right now, if I try to get the wheel alignment with the wheels in the back, they're not gonna align it to how I want because it still pokes. So get the lower control arms on. I want to lower the car about an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, because it was way too high before, and then we'll just go from there. All right, so I have been going really hard on the car. I installed the new sway bar end links. I installed the lower control arms. I'm just doing an eyeball alignment just so I can get an alignment. Right now, this is actually pretty difficult. So I got the wheel semi-straight, I guess. Well, right now it's not straight at all. That is straight. So the wheel straight, seems like this wheel has a little toe out, and it looks like there's an excessive amount of camber. That'll change when I get the alignment. I'm not gonna look for that amount. Alright, so got the lower control arms back in. I just tried to go full lock, and the point of the bump stops is for it to bump it and for it to stop, and it works. So I tightened everything. I double, triple, quadruple checked it. I'm gonna throw the wheels on and then check to see where I'm at with angle again. And I'm gonna lower the car to see where it sits, because I lowered it. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but it was like an inch and a half, two inches of wheel gap in the front. With the new wheels, I'm not gonna need that. So let's see. All right, so I can tell it's already gonna be low, because look at this. That's how the wheel was sitting when it was on the ground. Now it's up in the air, and it's the same height. Oh man, this is probably a bad idea. But I already did it, so I'm gonna check the clearance, throw on the other wheel, lower the rear first, then the front, so we can see how it looks together. Yo, that is wild. Yo, there's like 1 finger gap. All right, sick. So I don't regret lowering it now, because it looks good. But those new wheels on, Fitment is really gonna be good. Right, so gotta take the car for a drive, see how it feels. Hopefully my alignment is not too bad, and hopefully the camera doesn't fall. It does feel a lot lower though, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like a lot lower. Definitely could feel the ground more. Here's a test. See how bad it's gonna scrape. Ooh. Scrape pretty bad. I have more toe out in the passenger wheel because it pulls